the North East MEP for UKIP and General Secretary of the party. But, Jonathan Arnott, we understand not for much longer.
No, that's right. I, of course, fundamentally support UKIP as a party. I have supported UKIP since 2001 through thick and thin. And even in the really, really bad times in 2007, 2008, when we weren't even scoring 1% in the polls, we were just really an asterisk, an afterthought. So I've always supported the party, but recently, I think with the resignation of Paul Nuttall as UKIP leader, who's someone who's a close personal friend, and after the general election, I think I have a duty really to speak out about things which are not right in the party, and that's incompatible with remaining as General Secretary of it.
You've said in your resignation letter, which I've just had a quick look at, that you think he was let down. By who?
I do. I think by some of his closest political advisors who pushed him very, very hard and tried to push him to go even further down a route with regard to the so-called integration policy, which, in my view, ended up just striking completely the wrong note and being divisive rather than bringing people together.
And when you say the integration route, just remind our listeners what that was about.
So, for example, and please do understand, I'm not coming on here to have a massive go at everything in the party. So, other people will criticise us, but specifically, I think it was, for example, the policy with regards to specific inspections of schoolgirls for FGM and things like that. I mean, UKIP are absolutely right to be the only party talking about these issues. I mean, that's fundamentally an issue of child sexual abuse that affects thousands of people every year, and we should have been talking about it, but not in a way that's so divisive and actually causes allegations of bigotry rather than actually getting across the point that we want to get across, which is a fundamental child protection issue. And I think this is what we've done on various things. I mean, similar with regard to banning the burqa, for example. I mean, by all means, do that in areas where there's a security risk. Just as I would say, we need to ban outside football stadiums. We need to ban people from wearing balaclavas because there's a potential security risk. And you'd ban people with motorcycle helmets on from coming into a bank. And if there's a security reason, by all means. But the blanket tone of all of this is not what we should be doing as a party. And it caused people who would otherwise have voted for us to take one look and say, no, political parties can't make it difficult for you to vote for them.
Or maybe Jonathan Arnott, though, people thought, job done. UKIP, through what you achieved in previous elections, got the job done. The referendum is done. And maybe now it's time to say, well, look, we're going to vote for the Tories, Labour or whoever, that the party's over.
Do you know what? It's so difficult to look at this Conservative Party, this Labour Party, this Liberal Democrat Party, and see that it represents any of the views that I hold. And actually, from the range of policies in the UKIP manifesto, UKIP's always been a radical party speaking out on various issues. And it seems that our manifesto on everything other than this integration agenda was watered down. We watered down so many positive policies that we should have been talking about and pushing that would make a difference to ordinary working people. But at the same time, being radical in the wrong way. So I really think that we need this radical anti-establishment party in the UK, because frankly, otherwise people like me wouldn't have anyone to vote for.
So you're no longer the General Secretary of the party. How about, if you're this unhappy with things, how about your vision of the party? How about you standing as leader?
Well, I mean, you don't think about that kind of thing within 30 minutes of a leader having resigned after a general election where the results completely. Surely, we don't even know if Nigel Farage might want to come back yet. There's so many things that we don't know, and And frankly, I do always have this worry that being a leader of a political party is an incredibly difficult and demanding job. And I've seen over the last few months just how difficult it's been for Paul to do that job. And it does make you wonder. These things are huge decisions. You don't just rush into something like that one way or the other on an interview, on radio.
But you might.
Straight after.
But you might consider it.
Oh, well. Look, I never rule things out in politics. It's always a bad thing to do to limit your options for the future.
So that's a maybe.
Look, it's always a maybe with these things. I mean, Theresa May, for example, she ruled out repeatedly calling a general election, and then when she did call it, she sort of lost a lot of her trust and integrity by going back on it. So in politics, you don't make promises about anything unless you're 100% certain what you're going to do. So I don't expect that I'll stand as UKIP leader, but you never say never.
Never say never. Yeah, you heard it here first. Jonathan Arnott, UKIP MEP for the North East. Many thanks for being with us this morning.